Hello everybody and welcome back to more of the Inquisitor series where we are finishing off the very last episode of the Inquisitor stuff. I'm here on my ship doing what I usually do at the end of a series, which is kind of give you my final thoughts on the story, on the character, what's coming up next, and all of that fun stuff. As you can see, I'm still level 54. Haven't bothered to get 55. Why? Because I actually don't like my assassin. I don't like the class at all. I feel like it's the most boring class in the game. I feel like it's underpowered in several areas, and it's just not very good. It doesn't fit my play style. However, that being said, the sorcerer and the sage, fantastic. Love it. Just don't like the assassin. Or the shadow, I guess is what it's called if you're a Jedi. So yeah, still level 54. As you can see, I just pretty much finished the story and that's it. Will I ever get this character to 55? Probably, eventually, I don't know, maybe, I don't care. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about, firstly, the story. So the story was something that I brought up during the smuggler stuff, right? So the smuggler series had a really decent chapter 4-ish. And yes, I have my loud keyboard. A decent chapter 4, so there wasn't a whole lot of good stuff with the Republic chapter 4. I mean, it was an okay story, but it was decent. The Imperial one, way better. And you guys have said that in the comments. You're like, wow, this is, like, I can't believe how much better this is compared to the Republic. And it really is. I mean, you have, like, the whole thing of infiltrating the planet, doing, like, shadow ops where you're taking down certain targets without anybody realizing it, and you're progressing through the story to the point where you have a foothold on the planet that's large enough to allow you to get to the point where you can fix the planet's issues because you know what they are before most other people. And once you're able to fix them, then you pull a ruse and you get the other factions off the planet by making think it's going to blow up. And at the end of the smuggler stuff, you saw there that you take the Ark into space, and as you're taking the Ark, the planet's blowing up. Well, when all of that's happening, on this side of things, that's when they're fixing the planet with the drill. So it's actually fairly cool. But there's some things at the end of the Imperial story that I need to discuss. So you have the end when you're talking to Darth Mar, and the news thing pops up, and it's the Senate or the Senator, the Trooper dude, and Satele, right? And they're talking about how they feel like the Emperor's dead, or they're confident in the fact that the Emperor's dead. And there's a lot to unpack there, but the first is that there is a bit of a timeline difference there compared to what my legacy is. Watch, I'll show you. So my legacy, my Jedi-knight, and then here, okay, so my Jedi-knight top of the tree, and then my Inquisitor bottom of the tree. So to be honest, there's quite a huge timeline gap here. I mean, these guys are still all fairly young, but there is a huge timeline gap there. Now, you're just going to have a suspension of disbelief there. I mean, that's really basically all it is, simply because you can't really explain that. I can explain one thing though, and that's that the Emperor in this timeline, it takes a while for them to figure out that he could be dead. So that's one way to kind of explain the gap there. Especially with the story of the Inquisitor. So between this character and this character, they're still determining whether the Emperor is actually dead. So that's the way I've decided to explain that. But as far as those characters being super young in that report, which is when they are, the same age when they are talking to my Jedi-knight, that's it's hard to explain away. So you just kind of have to deal with it, I guess is the best way to put it. And the other thing is, someone mentioned that it would be cool if you could have the Jedi-knight in that report and be like, oh, this is the guy who also killed the Emperor, and it would show your Jedi-knight if you've completed Chapter 3. But the cool thing is about that, if that actually did happen, my character would still be there, and that's simply because he's dark-sided and he's learned how to survive for quite a while. So is he still alive at the same time as my Inquisitor and this agent down here? Possibly. Maybe we'll find that out in the future, but at the time, we're just assuming that he could possibly still be alive. We don't know where he is at or what he is doing. With that being said, I think overall the story for the Empire was very good. I really like it. I'm excited for what's coming next, although I keep giving them the feedback that they have to split it back up into individual class stories and have one like major arc story, because that's just the best way to do it. There's really no way around that. It's, leveling 8 characters, almost 9, gonna be 10, through Makeb now. It's just gonna be the most boring thing. It's the most boring thing after the 3rd time, so why would I want to do it 10 times? It's like that you got to split that story up so I can really get the individual class stories, which makes that's the whole reason I want to play, aside from raiding. And where else do we need to go? Oh, that's right, I need to talk about the agent. So there's a few things coming up with him. Oh, isn't he just looking fabulous right there? He's level 21 currently at the time of doing this video. By the time you see this video, he may be much higher than that. And trust me, by the time the first episode hits, he'll be far beyond Chapter 1. So it's going to be an interesting week, especially because we plan on doing some things exclusively with the website that you'll hear about this upcoming week with the agent stuff. So I plan on doing a speed art video showing how I do the thumbnails on the videos, but tied into that, we'll be giving you guys some cool screenshots with him, because he's a good-looking Cathar, I'm not going to lie, and the gear that I do the screenshot or the thumbnails in is quite cool, so it's going to be fun. But those will only be available on the website, but there will be a link to it on the video, right? So if you don't know what our website is, it's OSWnetwork.com, and we're in the middle of trying to figure all that out and figure out the website a bit more, like adding achievements and maybe having those achievements unlock certain things that could be useful for you guys if you're interested in my legacy, like written out, concepts between the characters that I may not have talked about before. Like maybe, you could figure out whether or not Roshak is dead or not, and you can figure out what happens after his Chapter 3 and stuff like that, or maybe the past between him and his half-brother. So it's one of those things. So, there's some cool stuff we can give you guys there with an achievement system as you level up an account on the website and do that kind of stuff. But that's a concept we're working on. However, this week, like I said, you'll have the speed art video, you'll have wallpapers, and you'll obviously have the trailer, which will be coming out for the agent. And as much as I would love to talk about what this agent's going to be doing, I really want to save it, because it's building up, and there's just so many cool connections that I've been able to make without purposefully being able to make one. And it's going to bring a smile to your guys' face, because you'll be like, oh man, that was brilliant, that was really good. So that's my goal with the agent, and I'm really enjoying doing his series thus far. And as far as the Inquisitor goes, at the end of Chapter 4, it's pretty much same old. She just goes into working for the Council again. There's nothing too crazy there, although there, this group right here is preparing for, because he's still alive at the same time as her, they're all still preparing for the major galactic war, which is about to outbreak at the time of the end of her Chapter 4. So lots to talk about there. But going into the agent series, you'll be able to see more connections. And as far as the agent story is concerned, the Chapter 1, 2, and 3, it's all a prequel to what he's able to primarily do. So most of his story comes after that, which is another tie-in that we're going to try to do to the website, but that'll be at a later time. So there's going to be some really cool stuff there. However, his story, the actual agent story, is pivotal to all of that, and I'm excited to show you guys. Like, you have no idea, this is going to be the best series I've done so far. It's gotten progressively better since the first Smuggler series, moving on to the Jedi, and then so on and so forth, to the Trooper. But this is definitely going to be the best one. I'm really excited to show you guys this. But I think that's really all I needed to talk about. I'm kind of happy with the way the Inquisitor series turned out, all the way through Chapter 4 and everything. And I learned a lot. One thing I will give you, right, for the agent, is I did learn something doing the Inquisitor series, and that is how to do the gear. In the Inquisitor series, I just took whatever gear I wanted to wear for a specific planet and just put it on. So every planet was a different set of gear. However, with the agent, it's much more intentional. The agent, currently you see him wearing like the standard Imperial uniform, But that's just because he's on his ship, you know, he's reporting in for duty. So his outfits change based on the story, not based on where he is at, if that makes sense. If he's undercover, he's not going to be wearing his Imperial outfit, you know, that just makes sense, because then they'd be like, why are you wearing an Imperial outfit, you weirdo? You know, aren't you supposed to be undercover? Not that they would get suspicious of him or anything. And then, you know, if he's doing certain things on certain planets, he's going to be wearing certain gear for those certain missions. So it's really cool, and his weapons and everything change based on what he is doing. It's great, it's fantastic, and eventually he will be getting a haircut in the story too, so even his look will change slightly, and it's just going to be great. I'm really excited for all of that, and that will be coming this next weekend. But on that note, I can't think of anything else I need to talk about for the Inquisitor. Enjoyed it, it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. From what I could tell, you guys did, and maybe we'll revisit the Inquisitor in the future when they add more content. But who knows. On that note, we shall see you guys next time.